Hello, my name is Brenda Bates, Medicine Woman, and we're here today to talk to Jen O. This is our follow-up interview. We watched all the other videos. We had the progression of how we first met and our hair healings, and then we did a healing, homeopathics and protection drops. It has been at least a couple months. It was like not even 5 minutes after we were done, we could see the external change for our healing. And that's what's important. It's not just the physical healing, it is everything, the spiritual, the mental, and the emotional. And part of the physical is the exterior, the external stuff. Because again, we put out energy cords to create things to come into form. And as we do, we identify with it, we define them. As we heal, and what are we healing? The negativity. As long as we heal the negativity to all those cords we put out, then you will start seeing all positive things that can happen in your universe and how things can then flow. And you'll learn to train yourself with the two energy cords that are out there at the exact same time. And we have a negative, we have a positive. We are so trained with the ego mindset to constantly see the negative. And I'm here to teach you about the spiritual mindset so you can train yourself to see the positive. We don't have to suffer. Suffering is an option. She came in for physical pain. It was like 3 to 5 a.m. She'd wake up and she would be, what, in physical uterus pain?
Yep, excruciating pain.
Scale from 0 to 10 would be 10 being the most pain?
Yeah.
Beyond?
Yeah, 100.
Okay. It started to scare her. It lasted, what, about a week?
Oh, no. Oh.
It was a little longer than that?
Yeah, less, yeah.
And her normal reaction would be going to the hospital and going through all that rigmarole. But she's been with me long enough that she's finally said, you know what, enough is enough. She didn't need to, she was hearing the whispers, but they kind of started becoming into a bitch slap, so she needed to be slapped. And we learned that be in the crippling hit.
Yeah.
So that's the bitch. She learned that, no, you know what, I'm not going to do old routine, I'm going to do the new thing. So when she finally came here, we talked and we healed, and immediately she started to get relief. So the next night, I had already warned her. She may wake up, but she won't be in pain.
My 1-year-old checking, and actually my future self checking myself.
To make sure that she's going to be safe during those hours. It was all about leading back to when she was 1 year old. And 1 year old, she was walking, and she walked right into somebody's shock. Now, she didn't know that it wasn't hers. She didn't even know that she walked into it. She just knew it was there, and she absorbed it as her own. Because of this, it has paralyzed your will. And what does that mean? You ever been stuck in your world where you can't move forward and life just seems to go nowhere? Well, this energy cord that was repeating, this continued story was repeating over and over and over and over, to the point that the language the body was telling her. She couldn't see it outside. She wasn't sure how to read it because we were never trained to read it, which I end up showing you how. So this is what we did. She trained herself to read it, to read what was happening into her world. And then her body language, not just the physical movements, but the aches and pains were telling her a story as well. What ends up happening is that she becomes healthier when she chooses to find out what's going on. Reclaiming the power off of things. So she reclaimed the power off the 1 year old incident. And how was your sleeping patterns now?
Yeah, I sleep all night long. And perfect. It's great.
No physical pain?
No.
No disturbances?
No.
Wonderful. How has your life progressed? What's the external done since that moment of healing? Just that itty-bitty healing.
Well, my paralyzed will is not paralyzed anymore.
Do tell.
I'm moving forward. I don't feel like I'm stuck anymore. I can make commitment.
When she said commitments, that's a clue. She's a very committed person, great friend, somebody you want on your side. Working was part of the commitment part. It would always be dread, facing that day, moving forward, what can she do? And it just kind of pulled her, and the self-talk was crazy. And then the dread would be there, but now all of a sudden she wakes up with passion. She wants to go, she's subbing, she's teaching and subbing in a school, and she loves it. She wants to do it more, and she created more experiences. Now they call her back, hey, could you cover for so-and-so? And she's loving it. There's other projects she's been doing, and she doesn't think twice about it. She just adds it to her list. I'm calling in clients now before she did.
I'm allowing to see how I can make a difference to them.
We're making a difference in people's lives. How do you know this? What proof are you seeing out here?
A positive feedback, just people's responding back to me.
On Facebook, she put stuff up. Before she wouldn't have people comment, maybe a like button, and now they're saying thank you.
Yeah.
which makes a big, huge difference in our world because that is a clue. Some people say no big deal. No, we know when God has given us something, and we want to say thank you, because when you see it and you say thank you, God gives you more. Okay? So you got to train yourself to receive. And the feedback. She didn't want to hear people's feedback, but now people are giving her feedback. Thank you. Good job. She feels her confidence.
Well, I didn't want the feedback because I didn't want to be rejected. I was worried that I didn't want the rejection part of it.
Yeah, and then can you see the emotion? And is it still there a little bit? Is that the next phase that we got to look at?
This is my next phase, is looking at the rejection. I feel like I'm accepted more. I feel like I can be who I want to be. I feel like I have a purpose and I need to be doing that.
Oh, that's good. See, she feels the purpose. She knew it before, but because of that experience, she couldn't.
The dread. I couldn't do it. There's no way. Dread. I would not commit myself to.
So imagine that little 1-year-old having dread. Okay? Mm-hmm. We healed a lot of experiences, which means we reclaim the power off that marker. That continued story is done now.
Mm-hmm. I'm moving forward. I'm free. I feel like I have freedom. I have way more energy. I'm not drained. Before, it wouldn't take much and I would be drained. I'm also able to be around more people and not absorb their energy. Yes. I can protect myself a lot better in especially crowds. Before, I couldn't do that. Before, I would pick up all their stuff and then leave feeling crappy, wondering, why do I feel crappy?
Well, see, that goes back to what the 1-year-old did. She picked up everybody's stuff. You used to put up walls. Now you've put up healthy boundaries, and you've gotten healthier cords, and there's no need for the ego mindset to say, wall. And before, she would have, okay, come, stop, come, stop, and then the pain would be there, but she'd never let the joy in. It was suffering first, then joy.
Yep.
Now it is turned around. She knows that she can train herself not to have to see the suffering, so she lets that joy in and says no to the suffering, which is great, because now the dread's on the other side. She doesn't even have to see the dread. Actually, I don't think you have.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about before, is it what's missing?
Right.
Because now the passion and the conviction is starting to show. Her paralyzed will is no longer paralyzed. She's willing to show up.
Yes. Exactly.
There was a phrase, every time I take life in, there has been fear.
Fear attached to it.
Yeah, and she wasn't willing to go there.
Yep. Nope.
Does that phrase even affect you anymore?
Nope.
No, because it was very strong.
Now I can take life in without fear attached, and I am willing to go there. Just as a long-term commitment of subbing, open up to be, if clients want help, I'm willing to do it. Before, I would...
Yeah, and part of it was that she would cue herself, meaning she would have her husband or her kids or family or friends say, you have to do this. And she'd like, oh, I have to do the have-tos. And then that was her excuse of why she couldn't move forward. She's not even doing that. And when they do ask her to do it, she's like, no, I don't have to. There's not that pull that she has to do it.
It's not the dread. The dread's not there.
See, and that's a huge thing. Emotions and feelings can really play that part.
Yep.
But now you feel like you got purpose.
Yes.
And you're not afraid to allow the purpose in.
I am not afraid to do my passion of my purpose.